The year is 1987, and a little boy on Christmas Day opens up The Legend of Zelda, and he loves it. He draws his own map, talks about the secret he finds with his friends, and he grinds out each and every dungeon every day until he finally defeats Ganon. He loved every moment of it, and rightfully deserved this win. Now flash forward 38 years and people hate the lack of a map, the confusing world design, ended up using save states to make the game much easier. I mean, I used the special edition of the game on NSO to skip right to the final boss. Clearly, we've changed how we appreciate these games. Hey yo, I'm Wacko, and I hate old games. Mega Man is way too hard, Mario doesn't let you go backwards, and Metroid is so annoying to navigate if you play it wrong. Older games were designed to be played in specific ways that today, people don't often do. The original Zelda is a good example of what I mean. If you play Zelda 1 like an action game where you head to all the main dungeons and rush to the end, you'll get lost and bored and eventually quit. Even if you look up a map or a full-on guide and play as optimally as you can, you most likely won't have fun. But if, instead, you play it like an adventure game and explore the world, search for secrets, and draw a map, it can end up being one of your favorite games of all time. The best way to enjoy a game is to play it the way it wants to be played. You're not just playing a game, you're playing with the game. And if you play with it wrong, you won't have a great time. The thing that really led me to make this video was a misunderstanding of Metroid. Late last year, I planned on releasing a huge Metroid video discussing each mainline game, and in my script, I was quite harsh on the original release, saying, quote, "Don't you think it's funny that the most common enemy in the starting area are these small bug things that are 1 block tall, yet Samus is 2 blocks tall and can't crouch? Meaning she just can't shoot them? Who designed this? Why can't Samus crouch or look down? How did they not add that?" And yes, they are annoying to fight. If you were trying to design a game where you just run around and shoot a bunch of stuff, then starting the game with an enemy that you can barely shoot is terrible. But they weren't designing a game where you run around and shoot a bunch of stuff. They were designing a game where you explore the world and find upgrades that make you stronger. So while these enemies suck when you just have a blaster, once you get the bombs, they're a breeze.
How many times in any other Metroid game do you use bombs on offense when an enemy doesn't expressly demand it?
Now this can become a gray area really fast, because you're basically ignoring problems by saying they're not problems. Bendy isn't focused, and the gameplay seems random and disjointed, but maybe that's just to parallel the in-universe company of Joey Drew Studios, and how it's also disjointed, until it ran into the ground. What about Pathologic, with its obtuse and annoying missions? Well, that's the whole point, with you suffering through a plague. Kirby's Epic Yarn is meant to be a relaxing game with no worries, but some people find it boring because it's too easy. But it's supposed to be easy, so that complaint is meaningless to the developers. So how do you make a genuine critique if the problem is intentional? Well, I say you can judge a game by whether it meets its goals, and often one of its goals is to be fun. Maybe Bendy is disjointed for a reason, but it's still not fun, meaning the main goal of creating a fun game isn't reached. Nugs Chaotix wants to feel chaotic with its ring system, but it also wants you to have to think about it and use it in smart ways, but then you don't really ever need to. So while it's chaotic, it doesn't meet its other goals. Iron Man VR wants you to feel like you're being pulled in every direction, never getting a moment to rest, but again, it also wants to be a fun game, which it sometimes doesn't do with its annoying pacing. Pointing out that Bendy isn't fun is a problem, but saying that the opening of Metroid is annoying, while true, is kind of the point. Knowing what a game wants from you helps you critique it fairly, but it also helps you enjoy it more. Breath of the Wild features a really annoying weapon break mechanic, and it drove me crazy, but then I heard the reason behind it was to force players to try out different weapons. So, I did, and it became a lot more fun. In Subnautica, I kept going around in circles, just adding on to my base, but never progressing. That's because I refused to go down deep in the caves, because I was too scared. But once I went out and did what the game wanted me to, it ended up being one of my favorite games. Sonic the Hedgehog is super annoying, but then you play it again, and again, and again, and now It's actually pretty fun because I did what the game wanted me to do. I played it again. There are tons of games where I learned what they wanted and now I really enjoy them. But what about all the ones that I didn't? All the games that I failed to figure out what they needed from me and now I ended up hating them. A game that I could end up loving if I just gave it more thought. Hello Neighbor is a joke of a game. I made a video on it years ago, and the video sucks, don't watch it. But in the video, I talk about how bad it is, and one big point I made is that you can find these weird untextured items, and I assumed they were bugs, and the developers just didn't care enough to fix it. Clearly, they didn't even care enough to delete it from the game. They did not care enough to delete it from the game. I made fun of them so hard, hating on this game because of it, just to find out that this is intentional. If you throw something at it, then you can start to find secrets and lore stuff. Knowing this, my entire point is garbage. Not only is this a side of the game that I completely missed, meaning I could have missed a big chunk that I would have enjoyed otherwise, but it also made my complaint to the developers that they didn't care about the game fall flat on its face. Now, I can't really say the game is bad, because a big component that they advertised everywhere, I didn't get to see, because I didn't notice it. I just don't know what opinions are valid anymore. Do I actually like Minecraft, or am I just an idiot? Do I hate, I don't know, Snake Pass, or did I just not know how to play it? I don't know. This kind of scares me. Well, scared is probably not the right word, but it messes with me. I don't know what opinion to trust. I don't know if my boredom or entertainment comes from intelligence or ignorance. I don't know if this is obvious or pointless, but actually understanding game design allows you to enjoy games so much more. And that's what I strive for. People make fun of the phrase, question everything, but I think that's just because it's poorly portrayed. Don't question everything. Understand everything. And if you don't understand it, ask questions. Why is this game so much more fun than that one? Why did the developers add this random room to this area? Why does this mechanic have a cooldown while another one doesn't? Asking questions is the key to understanding, and as long as I don't understand something, I'm gonna ask questions. And this is the part of the video where I say, no game is objectively bad, you just have to view it in the right way to enjoy it. And then I'd say, except Sonic Heroes, and then I'd laugh. But maybe it's time I check this game out again, and see if it's really as bad as I first thought. See you next time. This video kind of came out of nowhere. I just thought of it one day and then wrote it, and then later I was like, it's not good enough, and I wrote more and improved it. And then there's the video. I don't know. I hope you enjoyed it.